Hey guys, it's Deb. Hope everybody's doing good. I wanted to share this with you. I'm making this for one of my YouTube friends. She's making me something and I'm making her something and we don't know what we're making each other. So the video before this one, I showed you how to make this background on canvas. You could really do this background on anything. It was tissue paper and then I added paint and to make it look like a sky. So anyway, so then the reason why I didn't do a whole tutorial of this is because I do things, you know, in between work and in between laundry and cooking and everything else. So, but I thought I would go over it with you because I think she came out really cute. I'm not going to name her. I'm going to let my girlfriend name her because I like to name the girls that I make. And so what I did was I created the background, then I drew the face, I drew some hair, I picked out that old paper that I have that I told you that I got on eBay. It's different books, old books, but you have to be careful because I think this book is really, really old and the paper is very, very brittle. So you don't want to use paper that is that old where it's going to fall apart. So when you get things through the mail, you really have to, you know, inspect it. You don't want to use any sort of paper that's going to just fall apart because it's so old. We want old, but we don't want that old. And then I drew her arms down and cut them out and put them down, and her dress and her little feet right here. And then I put some hearts here. I put some lace, and this lace I put some glimmer mist on. Put a little green so that this is the earth down here and she's flying up above. And then this metal halo, what I did was I took a piece of metal and you take something round, and this is like wire that I've had from jewelry making. But you can buy thinner wire like this if you wanted to use. They sell this at Michael's, and they probably sell in the jewelry aisle wire that's a little bit thicker. So what you're going to do is you're just going to put it around something round, and you're just going to bring it around, and you're going to twirl it. Okay, get it off. Okay, so now we have our halo, the circle, you see it? Okay, and then you twirl that around, and then you just bend it. And what I did is I put it on the back of it. I just taped it on the back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover the back with paper, and I'll write to her on the back. I'll use this like a card, and I'll write to her and tell her, you know, how much her friendship means to me and that I'm glad that we met on YouTube. We share a lot of the same interests in art. And so this is how you make the halo. And then you would just clip this off. And because this wire is so thin, you could just use a regular scissor. Okay, this I needed clips for, you know, jewelry making clips. And then you have a wire. So it's a way of making something dimensional. Now the only thing I'm not sure about is that I think I'm going to put, instead of putting holes through this so that she can hang it, after I cover the back, I'm going to put some tacks. Actually I could use the thing that Tim Holtz sells. He sells those, oh, I don't have it right next to me. But he sells things that I could probably glue down that she could hang it. Or I have from sewing, I have round little plastic things that I can glue down. And that if she wants, she can hang it on a wall, or she could put string through it and hang it up. Isn't she pretty? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her little hands because she doesn't have any hands right now. And when you're doing this type of collage work, what you want to do is, because you're doing things in steps and in layers, you have to make sure, like I put her hair down and I'm like, oh no, I forgot about the wings. So I had to gently pull her hair up and get the wings back there. And then I put down her arms, but I wasn't really sure if that's where I wanted her arms, but after I got them down, that's where I left them. So you have to make sure that the placement is there. Lay everything down, your whole placement, then glue as you go. I had everything off my palette, okay, off the background. And then I went and started placing it down and gluing it. Don't do it that way, because you're probably going to mess up. You're going to glue something before you should have done something else. So lay everything down and then lift up and start gluing. And I mean, if you know that this is going to go there, you can remove something to do it. But just keep everything on top of there. Otherwise, you're going to start gluing things down when they shouldn't have been down, because something else should have been down.
What?
So... Jason, I'm making a video right now, honey, right?
Oh,
so, what else was I going to say before I got interrupted? Oh, so now we're going to make little hands for her. Alright, so these are the papers that I used. I used this pink. Then I picked this out to go with it. This way I showed contrast between her arms and her body. And it's probably from the same collection. I don't know the name of the collection, but it's from the same book that I pulled them out of. Alright, so I think for her hands, I'm going to go with this, because this lays on top of the pink. So I wouldn't want to put pink on pink unless I picked out some of this white. And you know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to use this pink, but I'm going to use the white that's got a little bit pink in there. And you just eyeball this. Just gonna make little hands. Let me just cut out a piece so I'm not working with a big piece. So I'm just gonna make her little hands. And I might want to make them longer than this. This is really tiny. Jay, don't touch anything. So what I'll do is I'll glue down these little hands. And then before we run out of time, I wanted to show you what I'm going to do to her hair. Let me get this. That's it, you just eyeball it. I emailed her and I said, don't peek, because I'm showing what I'm making for you. Okay, so there's her little hands. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see them. Here she is. There's her little hands. See them? How cute? Right here. And right here. Okay, now, what I'm also going to do for her is I'm going to put ribbon in her hair. That's why I came very close to her head here. So I already made the ribbons, and I'm going to glue one down here. And I cut some of the fuzzies away because I didn't want the fuzzies to take away from her face, because this ribbon has a lot of little fuzzies on it, which is cute, but you don't want to. Then I was thinking of maybe putting a bow here on her neck, and I said, no, you know, I'm going to overdo it. I always overdo things. I mean, I want to start putting beads down here. I could really, really get carried away. I get so into it. But I don't want to do that to her. I want to keep it simple so you can really appreciate her and not get involved in all the glitz of it all. There, it's a pretty girl. And I can't wait to see what she's going to name her. Okay, let me just turn it around so I can see if I like how the ribbon is placed before they dry. This one's kind of in her eyeball. I have to put them a little bit on an angle because I don't want them to go on top of her eyes. This one needs more glue. So anyway, so basically I did this to show you the background. This background can